Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make a crop top. Guys, this is the easiest thing you make. So it's very easy and it's the most comfortable and well-fitting scrub. So the fabric I use is Tetrax. So you will need less than 1 year, less than 1.5, right? So first thing is going to be to get the width and the length you want it to be. So this is just the way my fabric came. When it's cut into 60, it's folded like this. So it's normally folded like this when they cut it for you. So I'm just using the length like this. So it's by 60, I think. So take it the way it is now, folded into 2. I'm going to fold it again, so that will be into 4, right? So now you're going to make sure that the width you have here is your bust, the widest part of your body. So that could be your bust or your hip, divided by 4. So let's say mine is my bust, sorry. So I'm going to just use my bust because this end here is not getting up to my hip. It's just above my hip. So the length here, first of all, is 29. The width here is bust divided by 4. So let's say that is 44 plus extra 2 inches. 1 inch of seam allowance, 1 inch of ease. So then go up to the shoulder, mark your shoulder divided by 2. So for me, that is going to be 8. So after that, you're going to come down here, mark 1 inch of shoulder slope, and then insert your armhole here, divided by 2. Then you're going to go ahead and connect it all the way to the top, give it a curve. Come up here, mark your neckline, 3 inches of neckline. Come down here, mark 1 inch of neck depth. Connect it all the way together like this. Connect the shoulder slope all the way to this point, just like that. And then once this is done, your top is almost done. So you just have to go ahead now, cut out the neckline. So first, cut the 3 inches for the back neckline out. And then the next thing you're going to cut is your shoulder slope. Cut the armhole. Every other thing will be left the way it is, right? Because like I said, what I'm using is my bust divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches, 1 inch of 1 inch of ease, 1 inch of seam allowance. So that's why the width of this fabric is 13, even at the bottom, 13, even at the top. So once that is done, you're going to take it, separate it. So let one be the back and one be the front. So let's say the one here. So I'm just going to try to make sure that I separate the 2 fabrics. And then take one out. So let's say the one on the inside, this is my back panel, nothing is going to be done to it. That is it for it. So now this one here is going to be my front panel. This is the one I have to change a little. So to this now, you're going to move away from the neckline you marked, move away 1.5 from here. So that is going to be 1.5 from my neckline. That is somewhere here. If I mark it somewhere here. And then from this point of this neck, I'm going to come down by 7.5. And then I'm going to go in by 1 inch on this point here. And then take my tape, my ruler, and connect from this point here to this 1.5, sorry. So it's going to look something like this. 1.5 to this point. So came in 1.5 from here, came in 1 inch from here, 7 inches distance from the tip here to this point. So now all you have to do is to go ahead and cut this out. So guys, the next thing we are going to cut is the armhole here. So we're going to just remove a little bit, so chipping about 1/2 inch out of this armhole, just so your top doesn't have like bulk on the armhole side. Just go in with 1/2 inch and cut it, but you're just doing this only on the front, not on the back. So this is our front panel. So let me open it up so you could see. This is it here for the neckline. So the next thing we have to do is to go ahead and cut our fabric that it's 4 inches wide. So guys, you see that I have 2 of these, right? Just make it as long as possible, just so that it goes in at least 3 inches longer than this and at least 1 or 2 inches above here. It's better to have more so that you can go back in and cut it off. So like I said, make sure that it's 4 inches of width here. You can put in the white thing just to stiffen it, and then fold it into to iron it down. So the way it is now, I'm going to take it like this, sew it on this side using like 1/4 of an inch, go over to the other side, put this other one here, sew it down on the neckline using 1/4 of an inch. But you're going to go in, you see where my line stopped, I'm going to stop my stitch somewhere here, like 1/2 inch in on this side, 1/2 inch in on this side, and then I'm going to just continue going all the way to the top, and then go all the way to the top like this. So when I'm done, I'm going to notch it to this corner. So I'm going to make a notch on this corner like this, make another notch on this corner like this, and then I'm going to flip this inside out. So tuck it in, that way this is going to come back facing this direction. So guys, once you sew it down, you're going to move this in, move this other side in, and then you will see, once you move it in, you will see the ends coming here like this. And then you're going to, like I said, the ends that you cut, if you look closely, you will see the body of this cloth. That 1/2 inch I cut from the edge, like the notch that I made. So you're going to tuck in that end of your cloth. So this is part of this cloth here, you'll see. And then these are the 2 ends of the flap. So you're just going to sew it down straight across. I don't know if you can see my seam here. So the tiny seam, that is it here. So that is holding it down. So when I open it up now, you see I don't even need to make a top stitch. But if you still want, you can just, and when you iron it facing in. So this is going to face in, so you can go ahead and just top stitch it, cross over, and then top stitch it all the way to this point. Next thing is that you're going to take your back panel the way it is, and then you're going to cut a facing for it. So this is mine here. So cut the same neckline, the same shoulder, and then round it up by maybe, let's say, 4 inches distance from here. Then you take the back panel the way it is, open it up, take this here, place it like this. But even before you place it, you could just take the front, the back, the front also, sorry, and then place it together along with this one here. You see? So I placed both my front and my back together, and then you can just place this here on top. So when you go to sew it, you could just sew, just this one here is going to be sewn just to the front of this, just to the back neckline. So you can use like 1/4 of an inch, sew this into the back neckline all the way through. And then when you get to the shoulder, you fit in the shoulder here, and then the shoulder of your front panel, and then close up the whole seam together along with the shoulder. The same thing on this side. After you've sewn the neckline like a U, right? Then once you sew this neckline, come back here, and then you're going to raise up the shoulder, fixing the front panel into the shoulder, and then close up the shoulder. Once the shoulder is done, the next thing is going to be to cut our sleeve. So this is what I'm using for my sleeve. So you could make yours about, let's say, 12 inches long, because we are going to be hemming it, and then we are going to add the bias taping into it to give it a different color. Except you don't want that kind of taping, you can just fold the cloth, just fold your fabric at the end. But if you want to add that, I'm going to show you how you do it. So first thing is to cut your basic sleeve. So this is my basic sleeve here. So my fabric folded into two. Like I said, the length should be about 12 inches. Then the next thing is going to be to take your tape and measure down 4 inches. Sorry, for the cap height. So do 4 inches all the way to the end. Connect it to this point. Find halfway through, give it a curve like this, and then a curve like this, and then we have our sleeve. So you're just going to cut here all the way down. Insert what your your sleeve width would be. So for me, 7.5. Add 1 inch of seam allowance, and then cut the rest out. So I'm going to cut this out, cut this out. So guys, you see I've added one. So I wanted to show you how to add this here. So just the same fabric. This is my sleeve. This is the right side of my sleeve. Like I said, cut 12 inches long. Get a piece of fabric. This was this big before, but I just trimmed out a little, about, let's say, let me see how much of, so let's say 2 inches, right? Fold it into 2 like this. Make sure it's going to be enough to go through the end of your sleeve like this. Then you're going to place it up like this, facing up, because this is the end you want this part hidden inside. And then you're going to fold, like I said, you're going to use tetrax, because with tetrax the right and the wrong side looks the same. It's like uniform. So then you're going to leave about 1.5 at the end of this, then place it on top, tucking the 0.5 in, and then start to sew it all the way to the end. So you're going to be stitching on this. So when you flip it over, you're using, like I said, you're going to take this, place it, leaving 1.5 all the way at the end here, and then you're going to raise that 1.5 on top of this, tucking half an inch on top of it, and then leaving just a tip of this here, and then you just keep sewing it down. So you're making your stitch at the very end here, so that a little bit of this is showing at the end. Once it's done, attach your sleeve to the body of your dress, and then we'll come back and deal with the pocket. So guys, for the pocket, the same thing applies. So you're going to cut 8.5 of width, 11 inches of length. You're going to get again the same trimming that we have, get it, put it like this. This is the length of the pocket, 11 inches long. You're going to take the hem, turn it over this way, and then you're going to fold about, this time around you're going to do more than 1.5 at the top. So let's say you do 2.5, fold it down this way on top of the pocket like this, and then you hem. Like I said, you're doing 2.5 at the beginning, so you're going to just hem this end like this. So now you form the pocket on this one. You do the same thing on the second pocket, right? So after that, then we can join it to the body of our cloth. So guys, this is what it looks like. You see, I finished everything, hem the end. So when you get to the bottom here, you just hem it with 1 inch, hem the bottom here with 1 inch. And then the next thing is that the seam allowance on the side, you're just going to fold it like you're trying to hem it. With that seam allowance from your side here, fold this one away, cross over to the other side, and then fold the other one away. So it's just basically your seam allowance, but you separate it into 2 folds. That way you will create this slit here. So it's about 3 inches length of slit on both sides. And that's basically it. And then another finish I like to give to mine is at the back, I like to add a dart. So my dart is basically 8 inches apart, which is just my bust, nipple to nipple distance. And then from the waistline, it goes all the way 10 inches. That's 10 inches from the shoulder, and then 2 inches before the end of the clothes. So that's basically how I finish it, so that the back is not pokey. And then when you're done, you just use small seam to just hold this back piece here, so that it's not flapping out when you're wearing it. But that's basically it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.